Hello, everyone. Welcome to another horrific review. God, it's bloody cold. We've just got hit with a major cold snap, so forgive me if I'm feeling a wee bit sorry for myself. Just got over a bout of sickness. No, it's ice everywhere. Heating's on, wrapped up, and I'm like, nah. But let's get on to what we're actually here for, talking about silly movies. Checked this one out last night, and yeah, strange one. So it's Gatlopp, Gatlopp, hell of a game. Strange title. Uh, Seemed good enough. I don't watch the trailers when I go to jump on these things, so kind of going cold. And what I get's what I get. Oh, there be Mr. Chris. Greetings. I am fine, just over a bout of sickness, so back in the land of the living, making videos again. Was touch and go there for a bit, but yeah, you've got to jump back in the saddle again. Yeah, so anyway, back to this movie. It's supposed to be a cross between Jumanji and I don't know, something else like a horror based. I don't know. I don't know why they call it horror. It's not really. Um, it's a touchy feely, get to know your inner self, face your demons without anything really scary going on type movie. So got a group of people. Main character is a guy called Paul, who is just going through a divorce with his wife Alice. See him coming out of their house that they're selling. You're getting the impression he's being completely screwed over, that type of thing. And he's going to move in with his friend Cliff, who's your typical stoner bloke who hasn't quite grown up yet, still living in the house. One of the ones he's inherited a house or money or something, not really doing much with his life, just drinking away and doing weird stuff, not really living life or doing anything constructive. But anyway, Paul finds himself moving back into the house where they all party when they're like early 20s sort of thing. Then we have Dominic and Sam, their two other friends, coming to pat him in the head sort of thing. Divorce is horror. Flip's sake, it's getting married's a horror show. For those that get happily married and find the right one for them, fair play to yous. For a lot of people, that's not the case. And in this case, it was one of those the writings on the wall sort of thing. The kind of jump back and forward, time jumps through the early base, and basically she's a bit of a cow bag. It's one of those. Why on earth did they get married? Why did they think it was a good idea? It should have been a casual fling, but somehow I got obligated into making more of it. We've all been there. And yeah, she leaves him because she's screwing around some other bloke. They introduce this guy Andre as a side character. He's basically he's a plot device. There's not much to him. He's not even a dislikable character. He's just like a midlife crisis type person. Still thinks he's in his 20s, even though he's pushing 60 sort of thing, and she's in her early 30s. He's got money. This is all set in California, LA, of all places, so you can kind of guess the sort of fake plastic people that are in this movie. But we'll go through all this kind of stuff. He's moving in with his friend. His friend goes to a secondhand store to buy a futon, because even though he's in a fully furnished house, he needs to buy a futon for his friend, even though he's got a place with like spare bedrooms. The plot needs to happen. One of those things, just no, don't worry about the plot. There isn't really one. Yeah, and then he buys this chest of drawers. It has some fancy name, and everybody knows what it is because if you're in those hipster crowd type, because that's who these people are. They're hipsters, so you've instantly no sympathy for them. But a bunch of hipsters, it's just like, nah, crack on. So they're vapid, they're empty, they're fake, and this all kind of plays out. He's setting up. They're all like coming around for a drink. And of course, the guy, Cliff, who owns a house, hasn't seen his friends for so long because he didn't really do anything with his life. So he's like, don't go. This is my chance to relive my childhood. Let's all come around Paul and get messed up. I love how America's talking about getting messed up, and make it some sort of weird thing. In the UK, we just go in the piss and that's it. and sometimes you'll have a pint, sometimes you'll have 20. Um, but I've noticed especially a lot of American friends, make this thing about we are getting drunk now and we're going to do it and we're going to fall over and that's what we're planning to do. And it's all very serious and clinical. And you're like, relax, just flipping go with the flow. It's all good. The important thing is the company. If you don't have the company, it doesn't matter how drunk you get, it's going to be shit. And that's basically it. You need your mates, you need the banter, and then the booze happens to come along as well. That's it. That's kind of I suppose the British way of dealing with things. But yeah, they're gonna get messed up and forget her and relive their past. And he still has this wall of shame or something up to take photographs of each other doing silly things. It's like, and he still has it up 10 years later or something. That's kind of the way this goes. You're like, okay, man, let it go. Just set yourself, grow up, move on. But yeah, some people are the eternal child, and not in a good way. There's one thing about you can hold your inner child and doing, living life and bit of innocent fun. But if you're just living your life like that, as if you're still in your 20s and you haven't moved on, you need to have a word with yourself. And that's what's kind of played out in this movie. Yeah, I'm spinning it out because there's really no plot. Yeah, then the game. Gatlopp appears. Let's play a drinking game, load of fun. Because you have to make drinking and talking shit complicated with games. Yeah, no, never been my thing. From playing a game, I'm playing a game. From hanging out with my mates, I'm hanging out with my mates. I don't understand this everything having to be getting structured. That seems to be this. I don't think it's true, because like I said, a load of American mates and hung out and yeah, shot the shit and just had a laugh. But the way it's portrayed in movies is so clinical and unfun. It looks kind of tragic. But anyway, get out of this game. Sam, and this is the love interest of Dominic. Those two were together. She's about as much charisma as Wet Nevis. Really, yeah, nothing there, but she's only girl character in this group. It's that cliche sort of trope thing. Yeah, and then they start playing the game. What's the first weird thing that happens? Yeah, a question comes up about a personal question. One of them avoids it, and then the next card comes up because it's like snakes and ladders. You know what I mean? They're going around the board, and each time the dice land on a square, they pick up a card and it asks them questions. Honestly, it was just a bit daft. It's hard. It was hard to get into. The first one is supposed to be dun dun dun. The game knows about you. What were you hiding in your work, sort of thing. And then the next card, like, don't lie, and you get a punishment. And Dominic and Sam have to hold hands and they get stuck, and it's weird. The only horror bit was Cliff getting shot in the leg with an imaginary arrow. With an arrow because Paul did charades on a movie and they guessed it wrong, and that was his punishment. And then something about not reading the rules, and then apparently they have to finish the game by dawn or else they're trapped to play it forever. Sort of daft stuff. And then it just becomes a therapy session. They go through this game and who have you ever wanted to tell to go to hell? And no, this girl from my childhood made fun of me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God. I hated school, hated being a kid. Didn't like other kids when I was one, but I'm not going to sit and obsess. Like, as soon as I left school, I forgot about it and moved on. This weird obsession. I don't know, I think it's a TV thing. That high school is the epitome of your life and nothing else happens afterwards. Like, break off. That school is only a few years of your life, and the rest of it is when you actually get to grow and get out of that environment and make your way in the world. Because at least then you can change careers, quit jobs, try something yourself. The options are limitless. In school, you're kind of stuck there and you're past exams, and that's it, and your grade, supposedly turns the rest. and the social clubs are the be on and the end all. I don't get it. Sorry, I've got sniffles. Uh, Still not a term, but sneeze. Maybe not. Sorry. Joys of going live, eh? But yeah, so this whole thing, so he gets to tell the girl that made fun of him in high school to piss off or something like that. She appears and then disappears again. And that's kind of the theme of the whole thing. I actually wigged out. I'm not lying. I wigged out watching this and only paid half attention because it was just bleh. There's no special effects. Like tiniest bit of blood and gore from the arrow, and that's it. And it was all sorted out. It wasn't even. It was a thigh shot, so it wasn't even like a femoral artery or anything. So they made a whole thing. I bleed out, but there's like no blood. They got it first aided and all that kind of stuff. That was it. That was the only kind of drama moment. I was voted least likely to succeed in high school. If I knew my school could tell the future, I would have paid more attention. School is, I don't know, school's meant to teach you the basics. Maths, English, geography, history, language, that's it. And prepare you for moving on to whatever it is, either vocational career, academic study, but I know the American system is completely different from the UK system, so I can only go by my experience. Once I left the school doors, like even afterwards, you had your kind of token friends. You felt like you had to because you're all in the same class together. But realistically, nah. Like I couldn't tell you one person I went to school with now. I'd pass them in the street. Like that's just I moved on my life. I got my social interaction from after school clubs, out of school. And that's where I found, found your hobbies and interests and made sort of friendships. It wasn't the school environment was just something you're in. The whole point of the school thinking it dictates your entire life. And there is a bit of, you go to a certain school, yeah, it looks better in your CV and yeah, you have better career opportunities. But it's really not. And if someone's sitting in their 30s and 40s, which this group is, still going on about high school, they need to work with themselves. And the thing is, I don't think it was acted out for the purpose of this movie. I think that's just normal. It seems to be a normal culture thing, especially in movies and stuff. There's just obsession with high school. I was big ding dong in high school. I did this or I did that. And yeah, don't get it. I never went back to a school reunion. There was like a 20-year one or something. I think my sister went to it. And I didn't bother my arse. I got a little Facebook request after it, even though I was nowhere near it. Yeah, that's like, yeah, no interest. Strange, and that's don't think there's any young people watching, but if you are and you're in school and you're worried about not being in the right click, don't. It's not your whole life. Especially now with online, with the internet and social media, you can find people like yourself with similar interests and hobbies that you don't need to rely on your schoolmates. I connect with horror fans, all sorts of people, gamers, nerds, you name it. There was hardly any of them in school. They were all normies. So I stuck out like a sore thumb. But you get on with it. But with the advent of the internet and able to find, groups and forums and stuff, then you can find people who like most of the same things you do. Even if you've got a diverse interest and stuff, you can go and join a couple of different groups, not the end of the world. So anyone that's worried about school, you might be watching this, don't really. It's not the end of the world. And your life only begins after you leave. These lot are stuck in the past. That's the kind of frustrating thing. But this has been played out loads of times. Like I said, it's not really a horror movie. It's one of those touchy-feely find yourself. And then the idea is it's messing about with the dice, and people have to go back and forward and take extra turns and kind of play that out. Did anything else of significance happen? Yeah, I got towards the end. Alice appeared, but it wasn't Alice. It was the personification of Alice, but it was the spirit of the board game. And then the final question was like, who's responsible for your mistakes in life? And of course, Paul had to go, it was me. I made my own mistakes. It's supposed to be the growing up moment. If you don't recognize your own mistakes in life, God, what the hell? You're stuffed anyway. If you need a board game with the Oogie Boogie spirit to tell you that, then what can I tell you? You've got problems. It's not gonna, you're not gonna do well in life anyway. School or no school. That was pretty much it. Yeah, it was a bit of a non-entity, this movie. It wasn't even bad. Do you know some movies you watch and they're just bad and you're like, what the hell, and they make you cringe? This really did just make me wig out. It was one of them ones that goes on, you're like, no, I'll watch that. And then you forget about it 10 minutes later, except I have to try and remember to do these reviews. That was it. Just basically a big nothing. Oh, yeah, he meets out. Oh, yeah. The twist, the comedy twist. Alice is ringing them about signing divorce papers because it's one of these have to keep in your face sort of thing. I blame TV for this whole having your ex in your life scenario because they try to normalize it and have it. Yeah, be exes, but you have to stay in each other's. You have to like always be in each other's face even if it's over, and dragging out the divorce papers. Well, wouldn't go through them anyway. You'd just do it through their lawyers, wouldn't it? Like normally, and lawyer would have the paperwork or sign it. Then he said it's his house, but she paid the depositors. All that weird shit. Just trying to get points of each other. But the final bit was he goes over to her, or they all drive over to her house after they escape the board game. She's in Andre's house, but Andre's kicked her out. And she's stomping out like a wee cello. Yeah, and you laugh, and it's like, dude. I think it's one of them cases like you meet someone, you're like, what the hell did I see in you? You lose your mind for a minute. That was it. And then to get revenge, Paul goes back to the house and goes, oh, here's a board game for you, and hands it over. And yeah, the Andre character wasn't even like a villain. He was just just a plot device. And that was it. That was the movie. Really nothing to it. Kind of stretching here, but folks are online, may as well have a chat while I'm here. You know what I mean? Because more interested in actually talking about this bloody thing. Great point. I actually did find someone exactly like me once. I did the world a favour and buried him in the backyard. No one needs to do me. It got dark. Yeah, God, I'd probably fight with me if I found another me. God, I'm a cantankerous, grumpy shite. Yeah, the world doesn't need two of me. That'd be a horror movie from me cloning myself. If I can stand by word, nobody needs that. I know I'm not the easiest person to get along with. I know I'm perfectly happy in my own company. And there's a reason for it, because I'm a gobshite. That's it. But once you accept that about yourself, you're kind of a lot happier and just get on with it. What can I say? A lot of these guys in this movie could have taken that advice. Just friggin' be yourself and get on. Oh, yeah, the other thing was apparently Dominic was going to shag Alice, his wife, and that because he's jealous because Sam was talking to another man. So, and then she took advantage and jumped in. They're all just trashy people. Yeah, this isn't a group of friends you want. Just put it like this. You're probably better off just being by yourself than having a group of friends like this because they're just vapid, empty, fake non-entities. And this was a non-entity of a movie, and not really much of worth happened. There's no great epiphanies or anything. It's kind of by the numbers. So there you go. There's a review. Right, I'll leave it there. Thanks for joining the chat. It's always good to get it. It's sometimes weird. Just you talk to a camera, so it's good to always have somebody to interact with and especially movies, I guess. You need something else to talk about because freaking absolute dog shit. You're just trying to struggle and spit out some words. But there you go. I'll put the link in the description. You can check it out if you want. If you watch it, you have a different opinion to me, and it's the bestest thing ever. Let me know why. Uh, if you agree with me, let me know what you agree with me on, or what your thoughts are, what you got from it. Always interested to hear. Keep up with the channel, do the typey clicky things, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.